Have you ever been caught in the middle of two women that were just going at each other? Well, we're going to see that from Genesis chapter 30 today. Hey guys, and welcome back to God's Word Made Simple by Simple Servant Ministries. My name is Aaron Hawk, and if this is your first time visiting with us, I just want to say welcome and thank you for joining us today. God's Word Made Simple is an online discipleship ministry dedicated to taking God's Word and making it simple. We want to help you understand God's Word, apply it to your life, and grow in your relationship with the Lord. And by the way, if you appreciate this ministry and content, at some point make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that bell notification to all so you don't miss any future videos. We would love to have you as part of our family. Alright guys, so we are continuing our mini saga in our overall saga of the story of Genesis, but specifically we're continuing our saga of Jacob, Laban, Rachel, and Leah, or Leah, depending on which way I say it in the given moment. So we're going to start in chapter 30, verse 1 today, and we're going to be continuing, but we left off last time, and by the way, if you haven't caught up before, catch my Genesis 29:1 video and get caught up. But where we left off was at the very end of chapter 29, when Leah had 5 children in a row, specifically 5 males in a row. And I already covered the cultural context for that, so I'm not going to repeat that today. All right, so let's jump into chapter 30, verse 1, and we're going to go through verse 13. Now, when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she became jealous of her sister, and she said to Jacob, "Give me children or else I die." Right? I mean, uber dramatic, and at the same time, like I said before, if you know someone who has struggled with infertility, it is a real heartbreaking struggle, and it's really a long process of sanctification to deal with that if the person is ultimately not able to have children at all. It is very hard to deal with that, and especially when you have a sister that's literally rubbing it in your face and that you happen to share a husband with that's not biblical, but I covered that last time or in one of the previous videos as well. So it's understandable that she is upset. All right, so verse 2. Then Jacob's anger burned against Rachel, and he said, "Am I in the place of God who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb?" Right, a very typical male response there, right? You can laugh at that, it's okay. And yet true, very insensitive, but also true. Verse 3, and she said, "Here is my maid Bilhah. Go into her that she may bear on my knees, that through her I too may have children." So she's like, well, you know, she's pulling one out of the old Abraham book where Abraham did this with his wife, tried to fix what God was doing. You know, it doesn't work out so well when people do that. In fact, if you don't remember, go catch the video from Genesis chapter 16 where Abraham and Sarah devised their own plot. I kind of referenced that a few seconds ago, but go check that video out, right? It's one out of the old playbook. Well, I can't do it here. Here's my maid. Go have sex with her and bear children so that I can live vicariously through you and then become jealous and cause everything to go bad. Yeah, all right. So, verse 4. So she gave him her maid Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob went into her. So Jacob, you're still messing up here because, you know, since Genesis chapter 1, it was supposed to be one man, one woman for life, but Jacob is not exactly what we would call a man of faith yet. He knows about God, and he's had an experience with God, but wouldn't call him a man of faith yet. Anyway. Verse 5, Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, "God has vindicated me and has indeed heard my voice and has given me a son." Therefore she named him Dan. Rachel's maid Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. So Rachel said, "With mighty wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister," right? As if that's the enemy. But they really were basically doing that, and it's Jacob and Laban having their fault that caused this, or the fight that caused this, but I'm sure it goes beyond that. But one of a million reasons, not to mention the biblical prohibition against marrying multiple wives, much less sisters. Jacob's nuts. All right, anyway. So Rachel said, "With mighty wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and I have indeed prevailed." And she named him Naphtali. Now, I understand the vicarious thing because it was common then. At the same time, it's not, you haven't actually done anything. Your servant has actually been, anyway, the logic doesn't matter though when these kinds of emotions are involved, and this was the idea of a surrogate. So it's kind of understandable, and yet the logical part of my brain's like, that still doesn't mean what you think it means, right? To a little Princess Bride reference there, if you like that movie. If you do, you're awesome. All right, verse 9. When Leah saw that she had stopped bearing, she took her maid Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. So yeah, let's just have them all in here, right? We've got the start of a harem. So the sisterly, womanly fighting knows no bounds. So Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, "How fortunate." So she named him Gad. So hey, I can still one-up my sister. Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, "Happy am I, for women will call me happy." So she named him Asher. All right, so we're going to continue our story next time, but as I said, it was either earlier in this video or in the last video. If you want to know where the 12 tribes of Israel come from, now you know. So we're going to continue in chapter 30, verse 14 next time. So if you don't want to miss it or any of the other videos, make sure you hit like, subscribe, turn that bell notification to all so you don't miss any future videos. We would love to have you as part of our family. And if you do want to support this ministry, we greatly appreciate it. One of the best ways that you can do that is by hitting that share button and share this video and others on your social media platforms. The other way is we are still doing our Giving Tuesday fundraiser, so you can catch the video there for our Giving Tuesday fundraiser. And please consider supporting us in that way. We would love to be able to reach our goal for that fundraiser. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much, and God bless.